Hi, in this video I want to talk about the 3 harsh truths about being a software engineer. We hear a lot about the positives of working in software engineering, the potential 6-figure salaries, the working for household name companies, and the really interesting work. However, what we hear less about are the downsides. In this video, I will talk about the downsides as I see them of working in software engineering. I believe these harsh truths can be harsh because if you're not careful, you can end up out of work or, worse still, burnt out and depressed. Therefore, at the end of this video, I talk about ways in which we can reduce the effects of these harsh truths. The first harsh truth about being a software engineer, I would say, is that the career path is not always clear. It starts with your love of coding. You get a job coding as a software engineer. After a while, you get a better job. Maybe you mentor some other software engineers. And eventually, you become senior software engineer. The problem becomes senior software engineer is a nice place to be. You're generally doing what you love. You're getting paid a decent wage. And it's a comfortable place. The question becomes, how long do you want to stay there? As your life progresses, maybe your costs go up, your responsibilities increase. You start to become a little bit less flexible. Things get a bit comfortable, maybe you get out of date with your skills. Suddenly, you're a bit of an expensive resource to your company with out-of-date skills. Where do you go from here is a question. The next harsh truth about being a software engineer you need to know about is that your job is vulnerable to offshoring or outsourcing or both. Global multinationals are generally looking to cut costs. You work in technology, this should be self-evident because technology is one of the ways costs are cut. Whatever country you live in, I live in the UK, and at times my work has been offshored or outsourced to other countries including Malaysia, India and Poland. But then what happens is even in these countries, software engineer salaries start to go up because of the demand, and the hunt begins for another low-cost location. My final harsh truth is that keeping up with tech is hard, and it's getting harder. When I started, I worked on a product called Lotus Notes. For this, there were only 3 skills you needed to really know. There was a macro language, a bit like Excel formulas, Lotus script, which was a bit like Visual Basic type language, and the actual product and how to administer it, copy databases as they were called. And with those skills, I had a job where I was paid really well. I got to take flying lessons, I got my pilot's license, I traveled the world. Happy days. Now, for that equivalent role, I would need to know C#, SQL, React, JavaScript, Azure, and to name a few. And within each of those technologies, I would probably need to know more than the combined 3 core skills I talked about earlier. Enough complaining. What can you do to reduce the effects of these harsh truths? How do you avoid becoming a victim of one of these harsh truths about software engineering? What I would say is you really need to think about your career and keeping your skills up to date. Invest a little time in your training every day. Secondly, you need to be always looking to grow your network within your company and outside of your company. People give people jobs, that's a fact. So go to meetups, do the odd boot camp, and try and get to know as many people in your field, in your locality as possible. And be thinking about what your next step is and be aware of the state of the job market. If you're interested in getting into software engineering or learning how to code, please check out my earlier videos and see you on the next video.